Welcome back to the Comic Dudes, a podcast about comic books and comic book related things. It's been at least a couple of weeks since last we talked, and we're going to do a little bit of a news episode. We did one of these, I think, in July. Since we don't do weekly episodes anymore, and sometimes there's a slow news cycle, now we just decided that whenever we feel like talking about the news, we're going to talk about it. So Matt has a few things to talk about. I know one of which is sort of breaking news for us, but by the time this episode comes out, we'll be potentially like 2 weekends into the new NFL season, and fall will be right around the corner. So might not be breaking news by the time y'all get to listen to this episode.
Our opinions will be breaking news on it, so I'll kind of save that one kind of towards the end. It's not the biggest deal, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. So
okay, that's cool. Well, then kick it off for us, man. What are we talking about?
All right, so we are the Comic Dudes, so I figured we should probably talk about a couple things comic book related. So the first topic I wanted to talk to you about is, have you seen anything about what happens in Amazing Spider-Man number 32?
I quit reading that book.
Perfect. So I quit reading Spider-Man as well, too. But I started the series off. I really liked the first arc. The second arc was kind of iffy. The third arc kind of got me on, and I fell off. But
this is Zeb Wells writing it now, right?
This is the Zeb Wells run. This is to my knowledge, this is definitely the Zeb Wells written book. I think J.R. is on it. John Romita Jr. is on it, but whatever.
Can I sidebar just for a second?
Sure, absolutely.
Do you know how Zeb Wells got his start in comics?
It was unique, but I do not remember.
It was definitely unique. He won a Wizard magazine contest. He wrote like a little short or something. And because of winning that contest, he got to do a backup story in a Marvel comic. I forget which comic it was. But ultimately, that's how he got started in comics.
That's kind of an interesting way. That's actually not what I would have guessed or remembered. So, no, that's interesting. At least he's like a fan. At least if he was reading Wizard, like I got to give him that. He's not like just some outsider.
I've always enjoyed, well, not always. Generally speaking, I enjoy Zeb's work.
Yeah.
I think my issue is with Marvel editorial, not necessarily the individual writers.
Yeah. So my question is, how did Marvel editorial let happen what just happened in issue 32? So regardless, Norman, do you know the status quo at all? Like Norman Osborn is a good guy now.
No.
So we're gonna get there. So Norman Osborn and Peter Parker, they work together now. So they're working in the laboratory. Norman Osborn, this is like a spider's web now. If you didn't even know that. So Norman Osborn was cured back in the previous run by the Sin Eater. The Sin Eater had a magical shot. He had a magical shotgun, took away his sins, whatever.
Yep.
You read that stuff. So Norman's a good guy with Peter, and they're working in the lab. In comes Kraven the Hunter, who I love. I love Kraven the Hunter, dude. I think Kraven the Hunter's great. Kraven the Hunter comes into the lab, and you think he's there to get Spider-Man and Peter, but he's not. He was there to hunt Norman Osborn. But in order to hunt Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin, he wants to return Norman's sins back to him and then hunt him, because then he'll be a true prey. If you know anything about Kraven, he wants to hunt the strongest and mightiest prey. So we talked about the magical shotgun. Dr. Ashley Kafka, who is the Goblin Queen, imbued Norman's sins into this spear that Kraven the Hunter has that he's going to use to give Norman his powers back and then kill him. But Peter Parker, being the hero, jumps in front of Norman, gets stabbed by this spear, and at the end of this book is cackling because he is now the new Green Goblin. He has all of Norman's sins. So, I have a multitude of issues with this.
Yeah, so do I.
So even like just me like kind of explaining in 30 seconds just how ridiculous that there's a magical shotgun that takes away these powers. Then you can magically imbue these powers into a spear to stab someone to make Peter Parker the bad guy. Like, what is going on in Marvel? Like, I do not. I can understand a little bit of the fantastical. I get it. Like the cosmic stuff, I get it. But like, can we just have like some normal street level books? Like, what are we doing? Like all of these characters. I didn't know if you knew Norman Osborn was the Gold Goblin as well too. So there's a book called The Gold Goblin. You might
I
have
knew
seen
the Gold
solicited.
Goblin existed.
Yep, you might have saw that solicited.
I didn't know who it was.
So it's Norman with his resources, and it's just I really lost. Like I said, the first arc was cool. It was grounded. It was a Tombstone arc. Like it really showcased Peter being a hero. Like he was getting the shit beat out of him, but rising up like traditional Spider-Man stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like we're back. Like it's going to be normal for a little bit. I think you've alluded to it or talked about it. Like they don't necessarily have to be together, but they don't have to be in like a relationship, but like the fact that Peter and MJ like can't even get along and they'll never get together, like that just pisses me off because like that's one of the focal points of the series of Spider-Man, in my opinion, is that relationship. And I'm glad we get that relationship in Invincible. Like you talked about, I'm glad we get that in Invincible. But like that's one of the core things of Spider-Man. And it's just like, nope, we're gonna take that off the board. Mary Jane met this dude and do time travel and she wants nothing to do with Peter and she hates Peter and doesn't want to talk to Peter. And I'm like, this is not Spider-Man. Like, this is not the character.
It's been almost 20 years since Peter and MJ gave up their marriage to save Aunt May. And the only trick left in the Marvel book now that they continue to just go back to the well over and over and over is to find ways to keep Peter and Mary apart. That's all they got.
It was just
at the same time, they're creating this Peter and MJ relationship in the new movies that fans that haven't read a comic before, but like the games, which by the way also has a Peter and Mary Jane relationship. And the movies, they go and pick up a contemporary comic book and they're going to be like, what is going on here? Honestly, I wish I had a sound effect that was just a chorus of boos because I would have hit that button like 6 times while you were talking.
I figured you would have had one already. I figured you would have had that. We got to definitely have that for next time.
I try not to be overwhelmingly negative. I try to be like, if I'm going to be negative, I try to at least make it funny.
Yeah.
I don't want to just outright boo the thing. But
the whole time I'm talking, it's just booing like the whole time. like pro wrestling heat the whole time. I love it.
My man's cutting a promo.
Yeah.
A full heel promo, just recapping Spider-Man's story, and I'm just booing you nonstop.
Exactly. I love it. But, I mean, that's the current state of Spider-Man. I think I know where you lie. It's just the Marvel formula.
I won't read it.
The Marvel formula to me is like either the first issue or the first arc of these series is normally good, and then somewhere around issue 12, they fall off. Like that's just what happens. It just gets
ride
worse
it out
and worse
until the sales are low enough to relaunch.
Yeah. So I'm done. I'm done with that. So
we'll see. We'll see if you're done with that. You are famously not done with things that you say you're done with.
I mean, I jump back in if there's something interesting. Like I jump back in to read the I read the Hobgoblin arc, but like on a monthly basis, like picking it up was like, nah, we'll see. Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 1 Amazing Spider-Man, which obviously doesn't matter anymore because they've relaunched it a bunch of times and they have legacy numbering, but that was like the first comic book because Spider-Man has traditionally been my favorite Marvel character since I was very little. That was like the one comic that I was going to collect a full run of. Like one of, probably the only Marvel book that started in the 60s that I was like, I'm going to collect all of this. I couldn't care less about that now. I'll keep what I have, but I don't hunt for old Spider-Man issues anymore. I have the ones that I care about, and it's, the stuff leading up to Venom and 300, which I have. I've got ASM 50. I've got first appearances of the characters that I care about, and I'm done. I'm not collecting it. Don't care.
No, it makes sense. You don't need all that extraneous stuff. You got the key issues that mean something to you, and
I'll never
that's
be able to
it.
afford a number one.
Exactly. All right. Topic 2. Blue Beetle, Dave. Let's talk some Blue Beetle. Movie has grossed 81.
Sorry, I just found that one today. I'm really enjoying
I
it.
love it. I love it. Blue Beetle has grossed 81.8 million as of the 28th.
Whew.
The budget is 104 million. We don't know the marketing budget, but normally it's double. But whatever. Not doing super hot. This past weekend, got smoked by Gran Turismo, Barbie, which has been out for I think 6 weeks at this point. So Gran Turismo was 17 million, 17.3. Barbie was 17.1. Blue Beetle was 12.76. So third place in your second or third week of opening. Dave, I got a couple questions. Who is this movie for? And
we don't know.
Okay. More importantly, the main question I want to ask is James Gunn's DCU dead already? Because I'm starting to feel I was optimistic. I'm starting to think it's dead. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think this thing is dead. DOA already.
To answer that question, you have to have clarity on whether or not Blue Beetle is a part of that. And I don't think that it is. They were filming. Blue Beetle was probably in post-production before they even announced James Gunn taking the helm of the reboot. So I think this movie lies in the valley between the death of the Snyderverse and the reboot.
Yeah.
I don't know why they released it, to be honest.
Truly a lame duck, like a lame duck movie.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
I don't know, man. Are you just... I'm not sensing from my times...
I'm not going to see it.
Well, yeah. I'm just like, from my times in the comic store and, you know, the nerd communities I'm in, like, no one is, like, excited for, like, James Gunn's DCU. Like, no one is... I mean, if it was Superman, but it's Creature Commandos. Like, that's what we're starting out with.
Yeah,
Don't forget that. Like,
the way that they've decided to release these things doesn't make sense.
And I feel like that's going to be a huge, like, I mean, I get it, but I would lead with a Batman or Superman movie 100%.
Yeah.
To start this thing off, because I don't know, man. The superhero fatigue.
Don't worry,
real.
the Batman 2 is going to come out and confuse everyone because it's not going to be part of that universe.
Exactly, and
so
stuff like that. Movie. Like, I don't know, man. Well, I'm interested to see how the Batman Joker. 2 does. I'm interested to see how those movies do, and maybe we can get a real gauge, because I don't know. I'm just starting to think people are over it. I mean, I guess Blue Beetle's not a marquee character.
At the point now where, and it's not just DC, it's Marvel too, but I think a lot of the core comic fans have, and you're gonna kill me for this one. They have fatigue, and it's difficult. You know, there's a crossroads with this whole thing that I think we probably came to without realizing it sometime within the first year or two post Endgame, and some mistakes have been made on the production side, which has taken fans like me a little bit by surprise and soured us on a lot of what's happening. Warner Brothers DC has had no plan whatsoever. That's been obvious. We've talked about that ad nauseum on the podcast, but you know, I never finished. I started Secret Invasion.
Oof.
My girlfriend and I watched the first 3 episodes. We forgot about it. We forgot it existed.
Yeah.
We were driving. So we were like going to like an antique mall or something a couple weekends ago, and she was like, "Hey, are we ever going to finish Secret Invasion?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah. You know what? Honestly, I forgot about it." And one of my friends that lives in Pittsburgh, he actually asked me what I thought about the season finale or the final episode, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I quit watching it because I just forgot because it was just so boring and bad." And I know
You,
people actually do like Secret Invasion. I thought it sucked.
you're the like beacon that a lot of people look to is for comic book stuff, and like, I mean, I've been on this train for a while, but like when you started fatiguing, I'm like, they're in trouble. Because I was like, Dave is way more positive on this stuff than I am. And like when you started seeing it, I'm like, ooh, we're in trouble now. They lost you. I don't know.
You know that show America's Got Talent?
Yeah. Yep.
Where like someone's out there, they perform like they have to go until like somebody hits like the red X buzzer.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the
Yeah, like by the end of the first episode of Secret Invasion, I would have been just absolute like I was over it, man. Send that shit back. I don't need it.
big bucks, no whammies. I'm dating myself there. Big bucks, no whammies. Oh gosh.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know who Blue Beetle is for. I really don't. I don't know why this movie came out. I think it's an example of DC. Again, Warner Brothers DC just not having a clear plan in place and going, hey, we actually don't have anything that panders to the Hispanic community. Do we have any characters that might be able to do that? And they're like, oh shit, Blue Beetle. That'd be great. Like the new Blue Beetle, like the younger one.
Yeah.
Do that. And I forget the actor's name that's playing Blue Beetle, but I love him in Cobra Kai.
You said you love that guy too.
He's fantastic, and I still have no interest in seeing this movie.
I'm whatever, it's their companies, but I'm concerned about the overall brand damage that these companies are doing to these brands. Like Marvel to me is like dead. I can care less, dude. They really got to do something to bring me back. DC's even worse. Like I can care less with these movies. The only one I'm holding out any shred of hope for me is Star Wars, and that's dead to me too. I haven't watched any of those projects. So I mean,
I didn't finish Obi-Wan. I thought Obi-Wan was not very good. I know I'm in the minority there. I haven't even started watching Ahsoka or whatever her name is.
Yep.
Ahsoka,
no,
whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know Star Wars that well.
Ahsoka Japan.
I'm not watching that. Probably won't.
Right the first time.
And I love Rosario Dawson. Like I would watch almost anything that she's in. I can't bring myself. And you know what? I'm gonna sidebar real quickly.
Let's get a sidebar.
I had to factory reset my Chromecast downstairs.
Really?
And after I did that, and I tried to I re-downloaded all my apps, tried to log into the Disney Plus app. It says my password's incorrect. I tried to log in using the app on my phone, and it wouldn't log me in via the app on my phone to the Chromecast. I literally couldn't log in and watch Disney Plus for 2 weeks. There's more. So eventually the Chromecast shit the bed, and I've had enough. Like I love Google as far as connected home is concerned and smart home stuff. Everything in my house is Google. I went and bought a 4K Apple TV because I can't deal with Chromecast anymore. It sucks. So I set up this Apple TV. I download all my apps, and what do you know? I can't log into Disney Plus. Can't watch anything on Disney Plus. Can't log in from the app on my phone. This company has lost its way so hilariously. They won't even let me log into the app to watch this bullshit. That should be simple. Even resetting my password wouldn't allow me to log in on the app on 2 different streaming devices.
I won't go on my sidebar, but my email is linked for my Hulu, my Disney Plus, and my Marvel account. So when one of those goes wrong, it jacks everything up. And it's not, I don't know how they're not all linked, but I literally will write the password down that I reset, and it's different for each, and every time, Kristen will just hear me swearing in the other room, and she's like, it's the Disney thing, isn't it? And I'm like, yup. It's just absurd. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything about the way they've architected all of their streaming stuff is absurd. The fact that I have to pay for ESPN Plus to buy a UFC pay-per-view
Yeah, dude,
is the
that's
biggest
insane.
load of horse shit.
That's insane.
Like that's why I stopped watching UFC.
Yeah. The practices they're doing, and it's just like, I don't know. Everything keeps going up. The
Yeah,
prices, they go up $2 every
yeah,
like 6 months.
yeah,
Like, no.
yeah.
People are just done. They're
The
done.
only thing you can do is the only thing you can do is
Not
speak with
by.
your wallet. Stop paying for the stuff, you know?
Yeah. And I am, because you're wearing the shirt, but like the NFL's coming around, and Hulu don't have the NFL Sunday ticket. YouTube does. So guess what? Bye bye Hulu, bye bye Disney Plus, bye bye all of it. Like I'm going back to YouTube TV because that's what you got to have. So
Yep.
yeah, I just we went from Blue Beetle to Marvel, but yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
I,
I
I
mean
think
it's a bigger problem than just
yeah.
one movie.
Do you think even if they like just stepped back and stopped putting so much stuff out and did like a reset, like how do we fix this? There are fans
Well,
of
that's what
these
Marvel's
movies, but
doing,
how do
right?
we fix this?
That's what Kevin Feige came out and said that they're going to do. Like they're going to release less content. It's going to be of higher quality, allegedly.
All right. Well, I hope so. I
So
hope
we'll see
so.
what happens.
Yeah. All right. This is some comic book stuff. So the Image is leaving Diamond Comics for the book market. So this would be like your trade paperbacks, your hardcovers, all that stuff. So Diamond, we've talked about it. We're not going to go into all the. We did a whole episode on distribution, which was very inside
Yeah, no one
baseball. I
listened to that one
understand.
either.
It was very old. It was
No
very
one
old,
cared
but
about that one.
yeah, no one cared. Like no one watched that. No one listened to it. But pretty much Diamond was the main distributor of comics for Marvel, DC, and Image, which are like the big three publishers. And now they have no rights to any of those publishers. They've all gone and done their own thing. And this affects things as Dave, maybe not so much, but if you go to a local comic book shop, you might see your retailer pulling his hair out because he has to deal with 9 different distributors now. Not necessarily your issue as the consumer. It's really not your issue at all unless you're missing things.
Mm-hmm.
But this could have a pretty huge impact on the comic book industry if Diamond goes away, because Diamond right now, they house a lot of those smaller publishers. So that's kind of the issue with this. By all means, I could care just personally. From what I've heard from retailers, I hope Diamond goes out of business, honestly. How they've treated retailers, how they've screwed them over, overcharged them on shipping, just ridiculous things. But pretty much Diamond, they can no longer get trade paperbacks or hardcovers from Image, which I get a lot from my retailer. The only thing they can get is comic books, but that's from Lunar, who distributes DC Comics, and they have to buy them at wholesale. So they're not making nearly as much money on these comic books. So the comic book industry is in a very interesting place in regards to distribution. I think it might be for the best, but I don't know, man. The periodical floppy game is getting real sketchy to me. I think the book market is where the industry is kind of going towards. I know that we differ in that, and single issues should always have a place, but I don't know. Seeing it in the shops, it's getting real spooky, man. It's getting real spooky, my friend. So, any thoughts on that? I know that's more of like an inside baseball thing, but yeah.
I mean, it impacts me in one major way, and I am a creature of habit. I like routines. I like to have my little creature comforts. I have little rituals. One of my little rituals is every month I sit down with the previews catalog and also a copy of Marvel Previews and a copy of DC Connect, and I like to flip through the book, and I physically write out what my comic book order will be. It's
With a
totally
Dr. Pepper.
unnecessary. It's not a thing that I have to do, but it's a thing that I like to do.
Yeah,
During
it's
the football
beautiful.
season and the basketball season, I usually do it on the weekend when I get my preview stuff, and I'll put on football, got a game on, and I'm in the zone, just enjoying like seeing what's coming soon. And this month, when I tried to do that, and Image just wasn't there, I was extremely disappointed because Image is the publisher that I buy the most stuff from. It bummed me out.
It was there, Dave. Tell them how it was there, though.
No, it was not. No, it was not. There was one page that just listed everything with no fanfare.
It looked like a Marvel checklist for one of their events. Just
Yeah, exactly what it looked
titles,
like.
no preview image, no nothing. Don't know what this is. Hope you know what these series are. Don't know who the author is. Don't know who the artist is. No information. One page, check boxes. Have a great day.
Yep.
So
I just like having the previews, man. I wish everything was
yeah,
in the same catalog like it used to be back in the day.
yeah,
I'm a pretty progressive person. I
yeah.
think change is good. I
Yep.
think growth is a good thing. If we can make our lives better, easier, things we can automate, we should do all of those things. You know, if we can do something to give ourselves more free time to enjoy our lives, I think that's what we should do. Except for this one thing. Give me one giant paper catalog with all of my comic books in it that are coming out in 2 months,
Take
please.
all the trees
It's the
down.
only thing that I want.
Take down all the trees. We need all the paper catalogs we can get. We want them all down.
It's printed on newsprint, man. We're not using that many trees. This isn't good.
That's true.
This isn't high quality paper.
That's true. It's better than some of the paper that the comics are printed on, if I'm being honest. But
That's very true.
Okay. All right. We got a shakeup in the X-Men office, Dave. Have you heard about this?
I have not. Should I? Wait, should I?
Tom Brevoort, who is the executive editor and senior vice president of publishing, is going to be taking over the X-Men line. He's been overseeing the Avengers line for the past 25 years. Now,
Damn.
in recent times, that's not a good thing, in my opinion, because the Avengers books that you've read and we were reading, I wasn't particularly in love with them. But
I was enjoying it. World War She-Hulk was a great arc.
I was surprised that you actually liked that. But,
well,
it's good.
I did.
But he was instrumental. I got to give him a lot of credit. He was instrumental in that whole Bendis era, the Civil War, House of M, Secret Invasion. Like, he was there for all of that, and he was overseeing all that. And he was instrumental of bringing Bendis in to Marvel. This is not an immediate thing, though. This is going to happen probably in 2024 or 2025. It's a little unsure. The current teams are going to be finishing out. Like Kieran Gillen, for example, has been on contract for like another year. So like that means this fall, we're coming up on the fall of X, all that stuff. Like it's still going to kind of be status quo for a little bit more. But does this excite you at all? Does this give you a glimmer of hope about X-Men? Tom Brevoort, he's a known historian of Marvel, known to know a lot about Marvel comics and the history and continuity. He's taking over the line. Not interested. My boy.
The only thing Marvel can do now is prove it. There's nothing that they can announce that's going to make me excited. Just prove it with quality books. Shorten up some of the line. You know, we've got how many monthly X-Men books right now? Stop relaunching everything. We've talked about this so often. That you know what I want from Marvel. And if it's not that, if they're not giving me that, whatever, man. I'm not gonna get excited about anything they're doing.
I love it. You're like me with the cinematic universe. You're off it, man. My man is off it. They're on a prove it deal. Marvel's on a prove it deal. They have to show me. They got to show you that they can do it.
Yeah. It's a month-to-month lease.
Yeah. You truly you'll jump off of a book quick. You'll jump off a book much quicker than I am. So,
yep.
Okay. I'll probably check out like issue number 1 digitally. I'm not putting that paper in my house. I'll check it out on the app. I also don't need to like pay for it a la carte. I'll be in my Marvel Unlimited subscription that I use. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm interested to see where this post. I think we're getting to the point where even the people in the office understand that like this Krakoan era, like this needs to like end. like, this is over.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
this
not
is
good.
ending. This is not good. It was okay when it started, but like, we've really lost the plot here. So, yeah,
Everyone
this
can't
is
just be friends and live on their happy island of
yeah.
Krakoa.
It defeats the whole purpose of there's no conflict, there's no stakes. It's just people talking. So
Mm-hmm.
for people who like
Yep.
that book, I'm sure there's a lot of really good independent books that do it much better than what a superhero book should be, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. If you're enjoying that stuff, more power to you. I'm not paying for it though. So okay, something that does excite me. I will apologize. I haven't said it on air. I definitely talked to Dave offline or through text. No, I think I might have left him a voice memo. I have to apologize that I put something off for so long. And that,
Ooh,
my
I know what
friends,
this
and
is.
I'm not gonna do a full episode review like I want to, but that is the Marvel Spider-Man game on PlayStation 5. I played that game. We're all busy. I'm pretty busy. It's a pretty busy time of year for me. Thank you, thank you.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
No, I'm kind of a big deal. I'm really busy.
Soak it up, man. You earned this.
Can't wait for the crowd. But
There's about 10 more seconds of this.
10 seconds of this? How long is this?
Yeah, it's gonna taper off.
Oh my goodness.
A couple dudes left clapping. A couple of woos.
So,
Okay, you're
pretty
good.
busy season for a lot of us in higher education. I have two very young daughters that I got to take care of. But I started this game, and I don't play games fast. I beat this game in a week. Like, it was like every waking second I was playing Spider-Man when I didn't have any responsibility to anyone else.
A week is impressive, man. You deserve a round of applause for that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was kind of impressive. So I know I have Miles. I want to do some DLC, but I need to beat Miles Morales next. But what
Yes,
I
you
wanted to
do.
talk about is I'm really excited for Spider-Man 2 now, which comes out in October. I'm hoping I get. Now I probably won't get everything wrapped up by then, but this, in my opinion, is where, unfortunately, this is where Marvel shines, is these video games. I can care less about the comics. I can care less about the movies. Give me good video games that are interactive and fun to play, and I'm all about it. I need to go back and finish Guardians of the Galaxy. That game was fun as hell too.
Thought you did.
No, I got like
Thought you
halfway
finished
through.
that.
I got like halfway through it.
Oh.
I need to go back and finish that. That's definitely on my list. I want to go back and do that. But I got sucked into Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to it. Our one friend got the limited edition console. I was looking at getting kind of this controller, the side plates, but I advised against it.
Which friend?
Sean. Sean got it.
Oh, does he? Yeah. Does he still have it, or did it get washed away in the hurricane?
No, he still. I don't think he got it yet. He didn't get his yet. It didn't get. I called him.
It doesn't come out for a while, but I mean,
he didn't get washed away in the hurricane either. It wasn't that bad. He said.
Okay, good.
We can talk about it, but yeah, he's like it. Some parts are really bad in Tampa, but where he's at wasn't that bad. So yeah, he's still with us. He's still excited. Krista actually texted me and she was like, "Have you checked in on Sean about Tampa?" Because like I didn't know. I was like doing work and I was like, "No." So as soon as she texted me, she like called me or whatever, and I just saw his gamer tag popped up and said he was online. I was like, I think he's fine. Like he's good, better, and different. He's still playing video games. So there's a hurricane going around, and this man's playing video games. So yeah. No, what is your excitement level for Spider-Man 2? I just want to check your pulse.
It's 10 out of 10.
Okay.
It's one of the only things that I'm looking forward to playing.
Okay.
That, and I still have to get F1 Manager 2023. I haven't gotten that yet, but I really want to play that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this Spider-Man game, especially because there's a lot that I'm really excited for in terms of like Miles is going to be in this one a whole lot more.
Yeah.
We get the symbiote. Like there's a lot to be excited about, and Insomniac just does a great job with these games as far as traversal is concerned.
So
I'm just
fun.
excited to swing around New York City again.
I spent so much time just like catching. I was telling Dave I was catching pigeons. I was doing all this random stuff. Like the game is just fun. And it was just like a good
Yep.
escape to swing around and break up crimes and do all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, I'm
We're
definitely pretty
actually gonna
excited about
be
that.
we're gonna be in New York City the week before the game comes out. So I'm gonna be excited to come back and with memories
You're
fresh
just
in
there.
mind, swing around the places we were. So we're going to New York Comic Con. So
Yeah. See if the
head up to
pizza place
Javits
you
Center.
see if the pizza place you saw is there in the game. Like swing around a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff. All right. Well, I just wanted to gauge your level of excitement for that. I hope you have your phone on you because I just sent you a text message. This
Okay,
is what the
I do.
hidden news about. I don't expect you to watch the whole thing, but I need you to
Okay.
jump to like the 115 mark in this video. Sorry, I turned the volume up on accident. Are you seeing what I sent you?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm not at to 115 yet.
I think it's like the 115 mark. Yeah. So, audio and video listeners, I, I just sent Dave a link to a trailer that just dropped for a video game called G.I Joe: The Wrath of Cobra. It just was revealed. Um, I believe it's coming out later this early 2024. Actually, I think it said. Um, it is or 2024. It doesn't say early. 2024. It is a side
Bro,
scroll
spit
beat
it
'em up.
out. My God.
What's that? Yeah, it is a side scroll
Spit
beat 'em
it
up.
out.
It's a side scroll beat 'em up game. It's not made. The only downside I see right now is it's not made by like Dumatsu, who made Streets of Rage 4 and the epic Shredder's Revenge game that came out this year. But it's a side scroll beat 'em up game. Looks fun as hell. It is the classic 80s G.I. Joe team. Tell me what platform we're getting it on. I'm buying it. I'll pay for it. Don't even worry about it. I'm excited. We've been talking about classic G.I. Joe and classic Transformers games. Day one purchase for me. I don't know about you, but
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a day one purchase. I don't know if we'll actually play together, but I think the sentiment is appreciated.
no, I didn't say we were going to play together. I just said what platform do you want it on? I don't know.
Mm,
Just being
got it.
honest. Just being honest. But I figured we could end this on a
Appreciate
high
that.
note
I
because,
mean,
like,
I bought the last G.I. Joe game that came out, assuming we'd play together, and we still haven't done that either. So
you don't want to play
just
that
add that
game
to the
together.
list of co-op experiences
Let's be honest. You don't want
that
to
I've
play
never
that game.
gotten. G.I. Joe, Dead Space 3, Shredder's Revenge. You did play Streets of Rage 4 with me. I'll give you
I
that.
did.
I'll give
I
you
did.
that.
I did. You forgot about the all
If
time.
you're if you what?
You forgot about the all time banger. Was that Batman game? Gotham Knights 70 Bones.
Oh yeah, yeah,
70
that's a good
bang,
one. Yeah,
70 bones out the window.
yeah, yeah. So you're what? 1 for 5,
I'm close to
20% success rate.
I'm close to an all-star in baseball though. I'm getting there. I'm on a roster at least. I'm hitting 20%.
You need a AAA. Unreliable.
That's all I had, Dave.
Such an unceremonious end.
That's all I have, man. I'm done. I got
All right.
everything. I got everything
Well,
out of my system.
this is a fun little chat
I
about the
love
news.
news.
There's
I love
some
news. It's
interesting
fun.
tidbits in here. The GI Joe game is like the best news that I've gotten in days, actually. So, thank you for that. I'm
You're
excited to
welcome.
play that one by myself when it comes out. Since I guess we're not going to play together. I thought this is what you meant when you said, "Tell me what console you want it on," but no problem. I mean, probably going to have to be Xbox now that PSN is going to be like $178 a year or whatever.
It is insane. It is an insane price hike. Like
Yeah,
35% jump.
yeah.
Uh
Like, I don't know about that, Sony. I don't know about that. But I'll tell you what's not going up in price. This podcast. It's
Nope.
free. It's free 99. Will always be free. So why don't you share with a friend? If you like the podcast, share a link to this episode with somebody you know that likes comic books or nerd stuff and video games. It would make our days to grow the pod, and we could do it with your help. We'll have our Twitters and my Threads handle in the description of this episode. We are a bi-weekly podcast about comic books and comic book related things. We'll be back in 2 weeks with something to talk about, and this will come out in September. So we'll also have another Invincible episode coming out near the end of September, I think. We just released one as well at the end of August. If you missed that, go back and listen to that if you've been following the Invincible episodes. It was a good conversation. All that said, man, I got nothing else to say. Thanks for gathering up all these news stories for us. Appreciate it.
No worries.
All right, we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. Take care of yourself, everybody.
Peace.